Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Shikha Prasad, lecturer of economics from the Arihant College of Arts, Commerce and Science. Today we are going to learn about the methods to measure the price elasticity of demand. In this video, what are the measurements through which the price elasticity of demand can be measured? So, here are some methods through which we measure the changes in demand due to the changes in price with the help of some methods. So, let's start. Measurement of price elasticity of demand. The main methods of measuring the elasticity are: first, percentage method, or we can say proportionate method. Second, total outlay method or total revenue method. It can be also named as total expenditure method. Third, geometric method or point method. And the fourth one, which is the arc elasticity of demand or arc method of measuring the elasticity of demand. So let's learn how, with the help of these four methods, we measure the price elasticity of demand. So let's continue from percentage method. Percentage method or proportionate method is the first method to measure the price elasticity of demand. Now, what is percentage method? We know that the percentage method is one of the commonly used approaches of measuring price elasticity of demand, under which price elasticity is measured in terms of rate of percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in price. According to this method, price elasticity of demand can be mathematically expressed as ED equals to percentage change in quantity demanded whole divided by percentage change in price. Now, the percentage method simply measures the price elasticity or the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded due to the change in price by measuring the ratio of percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in price. Now, symbolically, ED equals to percentage, value of that percentage change, which is shown with the help of delta, in quantity divided by percentage change in price. That ED equals to, when we want to measure any change, we have to find out the difference between the new quantity and old quantity. So here the formula can be written in elaborated form, that is delta Q divided by original Q divided whole divided by delta P divided by original price. So this ED becomes delta Q divided by Q into P divided by delta P, where Q is the original quantity demanded, delta Q is the difference between the new quantity and original quantity demanded, P is the original price, and delta P is the difference between new price and the original price. So, with the help of this percentage method, we have to find out the value of original quantity, new quantity, original price and new price, and with the help of these values we can use this formula, that is delta Q by Q into P by delta P, and we can find out the value with the help of this percentage method. Okay, now we can move to the second method. The second method is the total outlay method or total expenditure method. Total outlay method, also known as total expenditure method of measuring price elasticity of demand, was developed by Professor Alfred Marshall. According to this method, price elasticity of demand can be measured by comparing the total expenditure on a commodity before and after the price change. It means the impact of change in price is ultimately on the quantity and it will affect the expenditure level of the consumer. So when we compare the expenditure level before the change in price and after the change in price, there will be some difference, and by measuring this difference we can find out the price elasticity of demand. So, while comparing the expenditure, we may get one of three outcomes. There are three types of aspects which we derive. First, they are elasticity of demand will be greater than unity, elasticity of demand will be equal to unity, and elasticity of demand will be less than unity. Let's know one by one what is these three outcomes. When with a fall in price, total expenditure increases, and with a rise in price, total expenditure decreases, then demand is said to be elastic. So in simple words, we can say that the price and total expenditure will go on two different direction. When price fall, expenditure increases. When price rises, expenditure fall. Then the demand is said to be elastic, and the value of such elastic demand is greater than 1. Now the second thing is elasticity of demand will be equal to unity. As we know that when there is equal to unity, due to rise or fall in price, total expenditure of the consumer remains unchanged. The demand is said to be unitary elastic. It happens sometimes that the effect of rise or fall on the price of the commodity, there is no change in the expenditure level. Then elasticity of demand is equals to 1. Third situation and the third outcome is the elasticity of demand will be less than unity. That is, EP is less than 1. When with a fall in price the total expenditure also fall, then demand is said to be relatively inelastic. So in this situation, the price and the total expenditure will move in the same direction. It means when price fall, total expenditure also fall. Then it is less than unit elasticity or relatively inelastic. Now we can understand this total expenditure method with the help of this schedule and diagram. Now there are three cases 1, 2 and 3 which we have uh, um, which is clear from this schedule, and in case 1 there are two situations. Price equals to 6, quantity demanded is 1 unit, price falls to rupees 5, quantity demanded rises to 2 units. It is clear that when price fall, quantity increases. And how can we find out the expenditure? We find the expenditure by multiplying this price and quantity. So in the first situation, 6 price is 6 and quantity is 1. When we multiply this, we find out the total expenditure also equals to 6. In the second situation, price is 5 and quantity is 2. When we multiply these, we get the total expenditure equals to 10. So what we have find that when price fall, from 6 to 5. Total expenditure rises from 6 to 10. So, in this situation, when price fall and quantity rises, both price and total expenditure will move in the opposite direction. It is the case of greater than 1 or ED is greater than 1. Same case we are which we see in the diagram that at point T, when price rises from not when we see at point U, price is P3. When price falls from P3 to P2, expenditure will rises from Q2 to Q1. It is clear, when price falls from P3 to P2, quantity rises from Q2 to Q1, and elasticity of demand also rises from point U to T. So here demand is elastic. In unitary elastic, with the change in price, there is no change in elasticity of demand. It can be seen clearly when price falls from P2 to P1. Quantity demanded will remains at Q1, and elasticity of demand is from T to S is equal, which is equal to unity. Now, in the third situation, when price is equals to 2 and quantity demanded is 5, then total expenditure is 10. When price fall from 2 to 1, quantity demanded also rises from 5 to 6, and the total expenditure in the second situation is also 6 into 1, that is 6. So when price fall, total expenditure also fall, then it is a situation of less than unitary elastic demand, which we can see in the figure. When price falls from P1 to P, quantity demanded fall from Q1 to Q. When price falls from P1 to P2, quantity falls from Q1 to Q, and the total expenditure curve moves from S to R, which also show a fall due to fall in the price. So it is clear from the figure and the schedule that in elastic demand, with a fall in price, total expenditure increases, and in inelastic demand, with a fall in price, total expenditure also falls. Now the third method is the point method or geometric method. Let's start the point method. Professor Marshall has developed another method to measure the elasticity of demand, which is known as a point method or geometric method. This the ratio method and the total outlay method are unable to measure elasticity of demand at a given point on the demand curve. Now, this is the method through which we can measure the elasticity on a point on the demand curve when we don't have any numerical values, and we have to find out only the elasticity at a curve or at any demand curve, then we can use this point method. Now we can see in the figure that there is a line PQ, that is the demand curve, and consumer have to find out the elasticity of demand at point N on the demand curve. Then we have to use a formula to find out the elasticity, and that formula is at any point on the demand curve, elasticity of demand is measured with the help of following formula. Point elasticity of demand equals to lower segment of the demand curve below a given point and upper segment of the demand curve above a given point. Now, if we have to find out elasticity at point n, just see the figure that n is the point where we have to find out the elasticity. Now, value of lower segment is n to q, that is lower segment value nq and upper segment value is np. So here elasticity at point n is equals to nq by np, and this is the value of elasticity of demand. So point method is different from total outlay method and proportionate method, because here without any numerical value we have to find out the elasticity at a certain point on the demand curve. Next, this is the demand curve. It can be shown in the graph as follows, that a demand curve B to A, demand curve DD will intersect this linear straight line at point C, and if we have to find out the elasticity at point C, we get lower segment value C to A and upper segment value C to B. So the value of point elasticity of demand is simply CA by CB. So here at point C, elasticity of demand is equals to unity. Now we move to the next method, arc elasticity of demand. Now when elasticity is measured between 2 points on the same demand curve, it is known as arc elasticity. Any 2 points on a demand curve make an arc, and the coefficient of the price elasticity of demand of an arc is known as arc elasticity of demand. This method is used to find out price elasticity of demand over a certain range of price and quantity. Now, in the previous method, that is the point method, we have to just find out elasticity at only a single point on the demand curve. Like, just for example, see the demand curve in the figure. The demand curve is DD. When we have to find out the elasticity at point A only, then we use the formula of point elasticity of demand. But what is arc elasticity? Arc means a range of value or a range of curve on a circle or curve. So DD is a demand curve. When we have to find out the value between point A and B on the demand curve, between point A and B, what is the value of uh, elasticity of demand in between the point A and B, then the point method is not effective to find out the value. So it is called arc method of measuring elasticity of demand. When the elasticity is measured between 2 points on the same demand curve, it is known as arc elasticity. So here at y-axis we measure the price, and at x-axis we measure the quantity. So when we measure the elasticity in between the points A to B, the price at point A is 10 and quantity at point A is 5. At point B, the price is 6 rupees, I think it is 5 rupees, and the quantity demanded is quantity demanded is 12 units. So we have to just make an average of this values, that is two quantities of uh, 2 points of price and 2 points of quantity. We have to just make find out the average of these points, and we get the value of elasticity of demand by the help of this arc elasticity of demand. So the coefficient of price elasticity of demand of an arc is known as arc elasticity of demand. So here we have four methods of measuring the price elasticity of demand, that is the percentage method, total outlay method, point method, and the fourth one is arc method. So here we can summarize this, that with the help of these four methods the measurement of price elasticity of demand is done. Thank you once again for watching my video. Thank you.